Hey, hi. So we were talking about this new development, this new document that came out of the administration this week. And I really want to say that I'm excited about this. I think that it's pretty darn important. And as usual, if we want to go here, there's a lot of stuff we have to do in order to get there. So this policy document, we've talked about hardware business outreach and frameworks, follows solidly into the framework section, law, policy, that sort of stuff, okay? So the document's here. It's linked in the description here. I really encourage you to go read it. I hate to say this about a policy document, but there's a lot of cool stuff in here. So when I was reading it, I was actually smiling, and I assure you, I've never done that reading a policy document before. So these are the 5 areas that this document goes into. We're going to tackle kind of the background of this. These 2 documents, the Space Policy Directive 1 and the National Space Strategy, I gotta say, they're not that interesting. They're worth reading. It's important as context to the rest of this, but they're kind of a slog to get through. And typical of this administration, it really focuses on peace through strength. Right? If that phrase resonates with any of you, if you remember any of that, that comes straight out of the 1980s Ronald Reagan space policy, mutually assured destruction mindset. And so that language I was surprised to see in this document. However, I do know that some of the folks that have been writing space policy for 1, 2, 3 decades are involved with the administration now in writing current documents. So while I was surprised to see this phrase in there, I guess it shouldn't have surprised me once I thought about it. So the background of this thing is that we're in a constrained environment. The world is in a constrained environment. Certainly the government is. And one of the things I keep talking about is sustainability, right? Requirements for such missions to be sustainable, to involve commercial and international partners, and include resource utilization. That is new language. We've had international partnerships going back for decades, but specifically calling out international partners and involving the commercial community, that's so new. And then this whole language about in situ resource utilization, using what we get where we're going. That's pretty amazing. And again, I just told you, I was smiling when I was reading parts of this, so I'm pretty happy about that kind of language. And then this executive order that came out earlier in the year focuses on private recovery and use of outer space resources. Again, that kind of stuff hasn't been around. That hasn't been available before. So it's pretty neat to see this evolution occurring, all the time, just around us on a regular basis. This is the piece I want to really focus on, sustainability. Sustainability, I think that I saw that phrase in this document 6, 8, 10 times, no exaggeration. It's in there a lot. It's in there a lot. And sustainability really has, in this case, 3 different meanings: financial sustainability, technical, and policy. Well, what does policy mean? Well, we're about to have an election. Does this policy sustain past the new election? A lot of people are unsure about that. I certainly hope that this policy is maintained. Is it technically sustainable? Is the level of risk versus the reward acceptable? And acceptable in this document is in quotation marks. What does acceptable mean? What does acceptable technical risk really mean? There's no answer for that. So again, in the prior video, I talked about this document providing political cover for people to take risks. I feel like this paragraph really allows different organizations to take technical risk. And then financial sustainability. Going to the moon is hard and it's expensive. Going to Mars is hard and it's expensive. Developing a cislunar econosphere is hard and it's expensive. So within realistic, manageable budgets, what are we really able to achieve? So sustainability should be this cornerstone idea that we build everything else around: financial, technical, and policy. So that's it for the background. I want to know if any of you all caught any Easter eggs. I'm going to share the ones that I saw. I'm not claiming to have any inside knowledge to the drafting and creation of this document, but I saw some things in here that really made me chuckle a little bit. So the first one is in the name itself: space exploration and development. I don't know how many of our viewers are part of SEDS, but SEDS is the Students for Exploration and Development of Space. So did a SEDS person craft this document? Are they in the background somewhere? I really don't know, but we do know that SEDS as an organization has been around a little over 30 years, 35 years or so, and they have had a lot of influence over how things happen in the space community. So if there's a SEDS person that's in the background of this, good on you for slipping that in. Again, I don't know if that happened in reality, but that was my first impression when I read this document. And of course, there's lots of other things that could say exploration and development of space, but in my heart, I really hope it's a SEDS person who got that title in there. This page, these two paragraphs actually have two different Easter eggs in them, to my way of thinking. The first is cislunar econosphere, right? My friend and classmate from International Space University, Ken Murphy, is the one who kind of created this concept of the cislunar econosphere. I really encourage you to search for the phrase. He wrote a really terrific paper at the Space Review. We're going to put a link to that in this document, in this video. And then the other one, live and work, and on the next page, play in space. That's been the tagline of the National Space Society for, I think, about 15 years. I might have my timing a little bit off, but live, work, and play in space has been around as a philosophy for a long time. I believe, although I need somebody to fact check me on this, I think that George Whitesides, when he was the director of the National Space Society, helped coin this phrase. And George, up until just a few weeks ago, was the CEO of Virgin and the Virgin Space Group. So a guy who's been around in the field for a really long time. I think his team crafted the phrase work, play, to live, work, and play in space. So I saw some of that in here, and I don't know, again, I don't know if it's just because those messages have resonated: cislunar econosphere, live, work, and play in space, and exploration and development. Those phrases have been in our field for 10, 15, 20, 25 years. Is it just because those phrases resonate with people and that's how the document was peppered with that language? Or is there really somebody who harkens back to that heritage a part of this document writing process? So I don't know, it's purely conjecture, but again, I smiled when I read this. I'm sure there are questions. Please post them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Hope you're all well. Take care. Bye-bye.